at that time, Kentucky had already made a decision that children could not be. It was illegal to put a child in an adult jail. I know sometimes in these counties it's difficult to get social workers to take the children and put them in, like in Louisville, you know, home of the innocents, find the foster care that's needed. But that's the responsibility of the sheriff, and it isn't that you just put them in the jail because you got no place else to put them.
Yeah.
And that case was tried. It was the only case that I was able to try with my father. And I was very proud of that experience. And we...
How old was that child?
That child was also 6 years old, 5 to 6 years of age.
So they locked up the father.
Mm-hmm. And they couldn't figure out what to do with the son, so they put him in the jail too, with the father. And this was, there were other people, there were other men in the jail. I mean, it was a classic day down in Livingston County. And
how long did it take you to finish that case?
Well, that case took probably 2 years to complete. The case was tried because the county refused to accept responsibility. And they certainly weren't offering any money to settle the case. Mm-hmm. And I knew that if a jury were to hear the case down in Western Kentucky, that they would find that it was inappropriate, but this was not going to be a moneymaker. Mm-hmm. But under the Civil Rights Act, attorneys that take these cases get paid for their time, even though they get small or mm-hmm. meager verdicts. In that case, I think the verdict was $1,800. Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't going to pay your mortgage for the year.
No, it wasn't going to compensate for my time. Mm-hmm. But you never, it's a difficult task to then submit all of your time and all of your expenses to the court and withstand the scrutiny. The other side saying, "Oh, judge, he shouldn't have spent that much time on that project or that research project," and I think it's too many hours here. You go through all that, and ultimately the court, in that case, Judge Edward Johnstone, gave me a nice Judge Johnstone. I tell you, that case was so wonderful because, Judge Johnstone was a figure in my life growing up, and I just loved him, and my father adored him, and he loved my dad, and so when I roped my father into getting involved in this case with me, it was an opportunity during the trial to get to know Judge Johnstone better. And I was somewhat embarrassed that I was taking up Judge Johnstone's time with this little old case, because it was a little old case. And there were lots of folks that said, "Why are you wasting your time? Even if you get attorney's fees, what is the point here? The judge has better things to do with his time than to try this case." And so during a break, Judge Johnstone called me into his chambers all alone. And I knew that we weren't going to be talking about the case because Judge Johnstone was not one to even dance around the rules. And there was just he and me, and it was so important to me too, because you need the kind of feedback that judges can give you. And Judge Johnstone said, "This is the most important case that has been tried in my courtroom." And I said, I don't understand. He says, "You have to understand that it's taking cases that no one else will take, that set the precedent, that make it clear to the community, and let juries define what is right and wrong." And he says, "I don't know what the outcome's going to be in this case. I don't care. The fact that you sought justice for this family is the greatest act of a gift to a profession that I've seen. And I commend you for being here." And so that sort of helps,
It's almost biblical in a sense, the least of these. I mean, right. It is.
And
people don't really think about lawyers, in those terms.
Well, and for perhaps good reason.
Lawyers, yeah.
We hope that some of us hope that our work does lift up the profession in the eyes of the community, but you can just do it one case at a time. So that case was a good result, and no one has ever locked up another child in Kentucky, to my knowledge. And if they do, I'm sure I'll be the first to know, and we'll do something about it. But back to Morris Dees.